Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Tana and welcome to Crypto Bible. Hope you are all very well. I thought I'd just do a very quick update for you guys because there's a few things I just wanted to make you guys aware of. I know that yesterday I done a video basically explaining that we could see a short-term dump incoming. And the reason that I said that was because the DXY, the US dollar index, was actually pumping recently. And usually the crypto market seems to contradict whatever that's doing. So it does like the complete opposite. So if the DXY is pumping, shortly after the crypto market will dump. And then vice versa. If the DXY is dumping, crypto usually tends to pump. Now, so basically what I want to show you guys is a few things that I'm seeing, which does indicate that a short-term dump will be incoming and things that just make sense to me. But it's something that kind of needs to happen before we turn very bullish. So I do believe that this could potentially be the final dump before the fun does actually begin. It's very frustrating, I know, because constantly we're seeing things in the market which show that a big pump is incoming, alt season around the corner, etc. And I still very, very firmly believe that there's just certain things that we need to get through first before we get there, and we definitely need to get through this. So this is what I want to show you first. This is the DXY, right? And with the DXY, I was noticing something which is pretty much very clear to me. And I just wanted to make you guys aware of it. Now, of course, what we see right here is that you can see this is a 4-hour chart. Previously, obviously, the DXY has been pumping, right? And crypto's just kind of been going sideways. And of course, today we are experiencing a little bit of a dump, as you guys can see from Bitcoin, very tiny. But the DXY has just seemed to have completed a certain part of a pattern which I was looking at, and that is the head and shoulders pattern. And usually whenever you get a head and shoulders pattern, once it's completed, it usually tends to fall down on itself and start heading downwards. And what we see right here is one shoulder, then you've got your head here, you've got your other shoulder just here, which I feel like we have just completed. And then what tends to happen after that is that it will just end up falling on itself, right? So I do believe that we are seeing a head and shoulders pattern right here for the US dollar index. And I feel like we have just completed the right shoulder, which will end up resulting in a dump in this chart. Now, what we know is that whenever the US index does dump, that is usually when coins tend to pump. And of course, I've shown many examples of this. Even if we go back here, the previous alt season that we had was right here when the US dollar was literally dumping on itself. We had one right there. And then we also had another short pump for crypto whilst the US dollar was dumping right here. And we also know that during this period right here, crypto was also very bullish at the beginning of this year when the US dollar was dumping. Now, what I'm seeing right here is a rollback up to this area with a head and shoulders pattern, which will indicate another dump incoming, right? And we know that crypto is very bullish during these dumps. So what we're seeing right here is that we could potentially be seeing our alt season happen right there. So basically, towards the end of this year, it is looking very good. But obviously, we need to get through these things right now. Obviously, the stuff that I'm seeing is that we are seeing a head and shoulders pattern here. But in the short term, what tends to happen with crypto is that it will react shortly after the US dollar index does as well. And what we've seen from the US dollar index is a pump. So what I'm expecting from crypto is a short-term dump. Now, how far are we going to dump though? If we take a look at the total altcoin market cap, we can see that from the move that we previously had, everyone knows I keep banging on about the 0.702 retracement. Well, we retraced to that level and we've rejected it right there, okay? And I am expecting us to keep falling a little bit further. How much we're going to fall though, I don't know. It's very difficult. From what I am aware of from some of the people that I basically that I've been watching is that they are calling for an ABC pattern here, which would indicate an A, B, C. So God knows what's actually going to be happening, but that would indicate that we do end up falling a little bit further than that previous low. So we would need to take that out. And the same thing kind of goes for Bitcoin. What I decided to do was go over to our retracement from this previous pattern that we had right here, and you guys can kind of see that this also had a bit of a head and shoulders pattern going on right here, shoulder there, head there, shoulder there. What ended up happening, it ended up falling on itself, right? But what I'm seeing right here is that Bitcoin did actually retrace to the 0.786 until we rejected it. And it's one of those things again, guys. It's very difficult to predict what Bitcoin's going to do short term. But with everything going on right now, it is looking like a short-term dump could be coming from Bitcoin. And on this channel, I try to be as realistic as possible with you guys. If I'm seeing something bullish, I'll tell you. If I'm seeing something bearish, I'll tell you. Not often am I on here telling you guys that a dump could be coming. But all I'm saying is just expect it. Don't be surprised if it does come. The DXY has been pumping, okay, and usually the crypto market tends to follow the opposite direction of what the DXY does. However, what we can take from this is that all of the other charts that we see are looking extremely bullish. Looking around the rest of the market in the altcoins, there's so many altcoins that have been holding extremely important support levels, and some of them have even been making new all-time highs, such as HBAR. You've obviously got Atom as well. There's loads of them. So, we can obviously take that away. And of course, with the DXY, as I've said, this head and shoulders pattern always ends up bearish with it falling down. And whenever this is falling, crypto is pumping. So are we going to see a short-term dump come in from crypto while the DXY begins to dump itself, which would mean crypto would obviously end up turning on itself and turning bullish. So I thought I'd just show you guys that it's what I'm seeing. I just wanted to be honest with you. Obviously, this morning, Bitcoin has been falling ever so slightly. As you guys can see right there, we have been going down a little bit. The areas that we could potentially come down to, it's very difficult because the total market cap is looking like we could take out that previous low there with an immediate bounce back up. In regards to Bitcoin, again, it's one of those things. It's more of a wait and see moment. Of course, the levels that we have been holding was that previous range that we broke out of, right? We broke out of this range that we were in for a while right here, right there. And we kind of come back and back tested it. So it's more of a wait and see thing. Could we come back down as low as this area here, which would indicate coming back down to around the $40,000 mark? Wouldn't surprise me if we do come back down here. So yeah, more like a wait and see thing. Obviously, this area right here was also a resistance for the 40K. So was it there. So are we going to come back down, bounce on 40K and go higher? I don't know, guys. But all I'm saying is don't be surprised if we do see that. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. I know it's frustrating when you're kind of sitting on the fence. I'm just showing you what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is some stuff that's indicating a short-term dump could be happening before we end up turning on ourselves and actually going into alt season properly. So just make yourself aware of it. And I just thought I'd let you guys know exactly what I'm seeing as well. Just so there's no surprises, right? If we pump, great. Obviously, what we would need to see in order for this to all just be completely invalid is if the total altcoin market cap completely turns on itself and actually breaks through that 0.702. So we want to see some kind of bounce here and then obviously head above it. You obviously want to see Bitcoin also break those levels too. So if we go to this right here, you want it to break that previous resistance that we had there. And then of course, we want to go over to our full retracement, which we nearly got to that 0.702 there and break that. So ideally, we want to see some big moves happening now from the big charts, such as the total altcoin market cap and Bitcoin. But right now, again, wait and see. Hopefully, this can kind of get it over and done with. If we do see a dump, I'm expecting it to be one of those really quick ones, like a really scary quick dump with an immediate bounce back up, which would just say, cool, I think that's it now. We've hit that 40K, which is the area that I'm looking for if we do dump. Now let's just get on with it, So hopefully you guys can understand what I'm seeing and you're ready for it just in case it does happen. If you've enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Take it easy, people.